Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Ask Amity Show. My name's Edmund.
I'm Jennifer.
I'm Cindy.
And we're the attorneys here at Amity Law Group in Rosemead, California.
Today, we're going to talk about what happens to your money, your kids, your family, if you don't have a will or a trust.
So I think the first thing we would like to address, I would say the first point is that there's a lot of uncertainty, right? So if you don't have an estate plan, you did not plan anything out, there's nothing in writing, nobody knows what your wishes are, so it's uncertain. So, your kids, your family, they have no means of knowing, what your intention was, and there's nothing that they know, within your intent, what your wishes are. So all of that remains uncertain.
And in order to kind of figure out what's going to happen, you'd have to go to court, and it becomes really messy and can take a very long time trying to figure out who gets what when you're in court.
Yeah, especially if, the family members or whoever think they're, owed this inheritance. If there's a dispute, the families are in, they're just fighting against each other. Not only are they having to grieve the loss of, you, but essentially they have to fight each other to determine what your wishes would have been if you had written them in, within a will or a living trust.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, your assets, which is your home, your money, your retirement accounts, all of that might go to someone that, you don't love or that didn't treat you well, particularly when, parents have 2-3 kids. And there's one of them that has neglected the parents all their lives, never taken care of them, but now they're entitled to receive the same amount of money that the other kids who did take care of you are entitled to. And so those are things that parents probably don't want to happen to their kids, especially the fighting, especially the uncertainty. And so it's always good to plan ahead by having a will, a living trust, making sure that your wishes are written down.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you don't have anything written down, your family, the people you've left behind, will not only fight for the assets, but will fight for the control. And control as in, the person who's going to be your representative for the estate. And everyone's probably going to nominate themselves. Everyone's going to think that they are really good with finances and they're really good with court documents, which probably is not the case, that everyone is equally capable. So you want to be able to appoint someone who you think is most capable and has your interests in mind, and knows exactly what you want to happen with your assets.
Right, and when it comes to fighting in court, fighting in probate court, that's very expensive. So at the end of everything, there might be nothing left, or the kids have incurred tens of thousands of dollars of attorney's fees, which might equal their inheritance or a big chunk of it. So we want to make sure that the fighting is very minimal. People know what they're entitled to, and I think I think one of the biggest issues is also making sure that you appoint a guardian to take care of your minor kids. So, kids under the age of 18, if something happens to you, someone needs to raise them, right?
Yeah, and not only is it costly, like Edwin was mentioning in probate court, it takes a long time. So your family is left with having to deal with the situation for years and years on end without any closure. And so, that's something that we want to avoid and help the family deal with this big loss already. So having, just having a estate plan done, a trust, a will, it avoids all of these headaches. And so we always recommend our clients to just sit down, have the conversation with us, and just get it done.
Right. Yeah. So I think the takeaway, like Jennifer just said, planning ahead to make sure that you help your kids, avoid any uncertainty, any disputes, and to give yourself peace of mind. I think that's one of the most important things, particularly with making sure that your minor kids have a guardian to take care of them. All right, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions that you'd like us to answer, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll try to do that on our next show. See you then.